Hey guys, Gnoblar here. Been a while since my last video, apologies for that, but hopefully I can make things up to you with a quick overview of the new Warhammer 40k 6th edition Eldar Codex. Look at this book, how beautiful is that front artwork. Such a stunning book. Full colour throughout, hardback book, as are all the latest codexes and Warhammer Armies books coming out of GW. But yeah, great artwork and a bunch of new art assets throughout this book. Full colour, as I say, throughout. So without further ado, well, let's get cracking. I'm not going to go into full details on all the rules, changes, etc. that have happened and specifics of different units. I'll try and get some HQ videos up, some fast attack videos up, etc. so we can discuss in further detail. But I have marked out a few key points that I want to stop at on the journey throughout this beautiful codex. That wasn't half a bad picture to just flick to, was it? Look at the state of this artwork, stunning. Anyway, back to actually the purpose of the video. So just give you a quick overview for anyone who's either not got access to a copy they can flick through, or wants a bit more detail about how the book's broken down. You've got about 20 pages of background to the Eldar and the race and how they interact in the universe of 40k. Page 25 to 62, so 37 pages of bestiary. That's basically a specific page entry for the avatar for the Farseers, one for a page for every unit essentially. So there's a good 35-40 pages of that. Brings us down to the Forge of Vol, 10 or 12 pages of equipment and weaponry effectively, and a couple of pages for the new psychic powers that the Eldar can choose from. And then to finish things off, 15 or so pages of model showcase and 15 pages of the army list. And again, something worth mentioning, Phil Kelly and Adam Troke. Phil Kelly actually responsible for the previous edition Eldar Codex. So there's a lot of continuing themes throughout this book. They've not completely overhauled how it works and how the army fits together. Just a few tweaks to bring it up to date, really. And Raymond Swanland, I've not seen that name before. To be fair, I've not been looking, but I'll certainly be keeping an eye out on him for a while to come, because if he's responsible for a lot of the artwork, especially the cover art, he's a man to keep an eye on. So let's quickly flip through, and hopefully I'm not going to miss any major portions for you. So yeah, 20 odd pages of background fluff. I won't go into that, not a whole heap lot has changed, but you have obviously got your new Eldar Warlord traits. If you want to have a better view, pause the video. Apologies for this shaky cam, but there are quite a lot of one-use only abilities that the Eldar can draw upon to it adds to the feel of the Farseer, kind of reading the tides of battle and judging when to make his best move. So that is very in keeping with the theme of the army, I thought. Moving on to just a quick glance of the weapon options that the Eldar have. There's a lot these days for the Eldar, and a hell of a lot really do hurt Marines. I mean, look at this entire section of effectively the different scales of D weaponry, ranging from the D size, which is an AP2 flamer that the Wraith Guard can carry, the Wraith Cannon, range 12, strength 10, AP2, instant kill on rolls to wound of 6, so the standard Wraith Guard gun, all the way up to the Wraith Cannon, the heavy Wraith Cannon that the new massive Wraith Knight model has, which is effectively a 36-inch range Wraith Guard. Pretty sexy, but as I say, loads of weapons that give you the AP3 or better, pulse lasers, bright lances, sun rifles, all the D weapons, all the fusion weapons. Monofilament weapons can become AP1 basically if they roll a 6 to wound, so it's kind of rending. There's a hell of a lot that just deals the pain to Marines. So again, when we do the more specific unit videos, we'll go into those and who has access to what. But oh my god, the weapons that Eldar have are destructive. One of those weapons are their Psychers. As everyone knows, Eldar Psychers can be ridiculous. They certainly were in the previous edition, with their specific powers that they could buy specifically and choose, rather than rolling randomly. But now they have a couple of the standard tables from the 40k rulebook. Divination, for example, is one of the paths that the Farseers can take. But they've also got 2 Eldar specific ones as well. Runes of Fate. Again, these are similar to the divination powers, at least in theme. Again, these are for Farseers only, as far as I can see from the first read through the book. So again, if you want to have a look at some of those powers, pause the video, because I'm not going to be hanging around to read them all out. But more importantly, I think, is the change in what's happened to warlocks and those kind of little guys that used to just have an always-on power in the previous book. They didn't have to roll. I think they were classed as psychers, but their powers were just always active. They never had a chance of failing them. They never had a chance of anyone stopping them cast them. Whereas now, warlocks, and you can get entire units of them, as a council, effectively, they roll on these tables as well. So this is the second set of powers, the Runes of Battle. And these are all double-edged. So you have a Primaris power, and it does one of 2 things. So you can choose to either use it as a buff to your own army and conceal them, giving them shrouded, or you can use it as a debuff, a malediction, if you will, which effectively takes stealth and shrouded off of an opposing unit. So and that's the same for all the powers. There's always one that's for you and one that's for the enemy, effectively. So again, if you sorry for the shaky cam, but pause it if you want to have a more in-depth look. But again, very nice that the Eldar can kind of pick and choose depending on how the tide of battle is going. Do I want to buff my troops? Do I want to destroy theirs? It's a very fluffy mechanic, I thought. Just a quick skip to some of the artwork. I'll try and focus on the newer models for you. The Wraith Fighters. The Hemlock is the Bomber, and is it Sky Hunter? I can't remember his name. It's probably right here. Crimson Hunter, that's the one. That is a stunning model. I've yet to really read about how it performs on the table, but I mean, just look at some of these models. Guardians, who did, I will quickly mention, they got a buff to Ballistic and Weapon Skills 4, as did all the tanks and pretty much everything that's piloted by Guardians. So Fire Prisms and Falcons and War Walkers all got a slight buff up to Weapon Skill, Ballistic Skill 4. The new Wraith Guard models, again with the different options of the ever so trustworthy Wraith Cannon, Strength 10 AP2, instant kills on 6s, to the AP2 Flamer, which instant kills on 6s. That's ridiculous. Can't remember what. Ghost Glaives, I think these weapons are. They're given +1 strength, and it's AP3, and an additional attack for having 2 of them. And yeah, one of them has an axe, which is +2 strength, and the shield gives him an invulnerable save, effectively. Wraith Lords, always a classic. Wraith Knights, I think there's a lot of mixed opinion on these, but I personally love it, as you might have guessed, given my fondness for massive stompy Eldar vehicles. That's the Wraith Fighter, I think, which is effectively a bomber type vehicle. And then finally onto the army list, and I'll just quickly give you an overview. Special characters, down to here. So you've got like 3 pages of special characters before you get onto the Avatar, the Autarchs, Farseers, Spirit Seers, who are specific to Wraith units and really help Wraith Guard and Wraith Lords out. The Warlock Council, which you can just buff up to be 10 Warlocks, a unit of Psychers bounding around the table, dealing death. And onto the troops, Star Avengers, Guardians, of course. So, yeah, very nice book all the way throughout. As you can see, full collar, really nice, really clear, well laid out. A big fan. And again, at the back of the book, a quick overview, reference section of all the Warlord traits, the special rules, which means they can run and shoot, and a fold-out reference section. What more could you ask for? Loving this book. Hope you guys do too. Hope to see you soon. Cheers.